Hi, my name is Dana Beck. Thank you for watching my video. And if you would help me out and click that like button, I would really appreciate it. And also click on the subscribe button so you get access to all my videos as they become available. So now let's get into the content. Now, in this video, what I'd like to talk about are some basic foundations for starting and building a successful online business. Now, of course, there are a lot of factors that come into play, but I want to look at some of the basic foundations. And so one of the basic foundations for your successful online business is setting up your online environment. Well, Dana, what the heck are you talking about? I'm glad you asked, I will tell you. Setting up your online environment, it's like, where you invite people. It's the platform where you promote your service, your product, whatever it is you're promoting online. Kind of think of it as your home on the internet when you invite somebody to your home. And also, again, it's your environment. It's your world that you're inviting people to. Now, within that world, within that environment, another, real key element that I want to drill down on, getting your domain name, your address, if you please. And if you have an address in the ghetto, people aren't going to really be too excited about coming over to visit you. But if you had, say, a house on Beverly Hills, Beverly Hills Road in Beverly Hills, anyway, if you had that kind of an address, people would love to come over because it's a great neighborhood. It's your environment. It's your address. So your domain name really communicates, or should communicate, a little bit of who you are, what you're about, and what people can expect. Now, there are a lot of strategies that go into play for getting your domain name. I want to look at a couple right now. I want to drill down. So getting your domain name. And you want a short domain name, if at all possible. And the shorter the domain name, the better, because short domain names, I can say this, I really can. Short domain names, people will remember. Have you seen those websites that have like 4 or 5, 6, 7, 10 words? It's kind of like you scratch your head. What was that again? And you got to type it all out. And people will not remember those real super long domain names. The shorter, the better, because people will remember them. And if people remember your domain name, they'll come back. And so that is a key element, your short domain number. Here's some examples of short domain names. For instance, MSN.com, very short, very easy to remember. Well, here's another one, AT&T.com, another short domain name, very easy to remember. How about another one? MLB.com. Again, these are all 3- and 4-letter domain names. How about this one that we all know who this is? CNN.com. And again, a very short domain name, very easy to remember. And all of these domain names, I think pretty much all these domain names are either an acronym or they're an abbreviation of a longer name. So if you've got a real long name of your company or your business, whatever, you can, look for a way, how can you shorten that name down to 3 or 4 letters? And again, here are some prime examples. All right, so, gosh, man, I just cannot come up with a 3-letter or 4-letter domain name. Nothing's really clicking. That's okay. So here's another strategy that you can utilize. How about a 1-word domain name? I mean, most people can remember 1 word, in general. Well, 1-word domain names are just as effective. And that 1 word should reflect your brand, reflect, your image. And, well, we'll get more into that kind of stuff here in a second. But 1-word domain names are really effective. Here's some great examples. For instance, Google. I can't tell you what a Google is, but I know what Google is. And again, it's a 1-word domain name, very easy to remember. Well, here's another great one. Amazon, Amazon.com, 1-word domain name. Now, of course, these are huge brands that everybody recognizes and knows. But the point here is that they're 1-word domain names, very easy to remember. Now, here's one that maybe you've heard of, I'm not sure. Microsoft. Microsoft.com. Again, I know, a very well-known brand, but still, it's 1 word, and it's easy to remember. Well, here's another one. Verizon, Verizon.com, another great one-word domain name, another great one. And here's one of my favorites. It's 4 letters. It's 4 letters and 1 word. It's really a great domain name. Dell.com. Very short, very easy to remember. So again, one-word domain names can be, very, very effective if you can't come up with a 3 or 4 letter domain name. So one-word domain names is another strategy that you can use. Okay, well, I'm sitting here, I can't think of any real one-word domain name that describes my business, my environment, my domain or what I'm about. I can't come up with a single word. Well, there's another strategy that you can use, okay? So if you can't come up with a 3 or 4 letter domain name, if you can't come up with a one-word domain name, then come up with a descriptive domain name. And again, you still want to keep it short. You don't want a domain name like the best sneakers in all of North America. That's too long of a domain name. You can't, you got to keep it as short as you can, but you can be descriptive. Here's some examples of descriptive domain names. For instance, the Container Store, thecontainerstore.com. Very, very descriptive name. If you go to thecontainerstore.com, what do you think you're going to find? Well, you're not going to find baby formula. No, you're going to, as the name implies, you're going to find containers of all shapes and sizes and colors for every kind of possible use that you can imagine. So again, a descriptive domain name can be very effective. The Container Store is a great example. Here's another one that you've all seen, I'm sure. Bed Bath & Beyond. Well, what do you think you're going to find at Bed Bath & Beyond? Well, not garden tools and shovels. You're going to find everything that pertains to decorating your bedroom, your bathroom, and other parts of your home. Again, furnishings for your house. And again, with Bed Bath & Beyond, you're not going to find, you're not going to find lumber at Bed Bath & Beyond. You're going to find, again, things that pertain to your bedroom, your bathroom, and so forth. A great domain name. It's descriptive, and yet it is still, even though it's a few words long, it is still short enough to where people can remember. Here's one of my favorites as far as a descriptive domain name that is short. AutoZone. That's a perfect domain name as far as from a descriptive perspective because it's only 2 words. It's very short, very easy to remember. And what do you think you're going to find at AutoZone.com? Well, not bed sheets and bath towels. You're going to find tires, headlights, oil, batteries, everything pertaining to your car. It's a very descriptive domain name, and it's very effective. So a descriptive domain name can be very useful. And so one thing also you'll notice in all 3 of these examples of the 3 or 4 letter domain name, the one-word domain name, the descriptive domain name, in all these examples, you'll notice that these names, these domain names, they were connected to a logo of some sort, a simple, usually 1-2 color logo, which is, again, that kind of coincides or works with or works in harmony to your domain name. And here are some great logos that to kind of give you some ideas. We've all seen these logos, and one thing that's unique in general, and there's a couple here that don't fall into this category, but pretty much all of the logos are 1 and 2 colors. Like for instance, look at the Toyota logo. It's just black and white, but yet it's effective. Everybody recognizes that emblem. They know what that stands for. Or look at Starbucks, a simple green and white logo, but yet it communicates. People recognize it. People identify it. So in building a successful online business, in setting up your environment, the first thing you want to do, you've got to have a place to invite people to. So your domain is really, really important. Your domain name, whether you can come up with a 3-letter domain name, a 1-word domain name, or a descriptive domain name like we saw, you want to come up with that domain name and then attach it or link it to a logo, like in this case here. And again, by attaching your domain name to your a recognizable logo, people are going to know who you are. They're going to recognize you. They're going to see your logo. They're going to see your domain name, and they're going to, oh, I know who that is. I've been there before. Great website. So again, This is a key element, setting up your environment with your domain name and an associated logo, which also, again, reflects your domain name. The two work in conjunction with each other. All right. So kind of a quick recap of what we just looked at. So getting your domain name. If you can, try and get a short domain name, 3 or 4 letters. I know many of them have already been taken by multiple companies because, again, they're so useful. They're great to have. So do a little bit of homework, put a little sweat in. You can probably come up with a 3 or 4 letter domain name. But if you can't, then come up with a 1-word domain name. And that's really effective as well. It's really, effective as well. And so, and then the other thing, make sure your domain name, if you can't come up with a short name or a 1-word name, come up with a descriptive name. But yet at the same token, try and keep it as short as you can. This is, again, this is another strategy in getting your domain name. And then tie it to a logo, getting your logo. Make sure it's a simple, clean, easy to be identified design. You don't want this real complex, ornate logo that's really fancy. The simpler, the better. We saw some great examples a few moments ago. Like I mentioned, the Toyota logo or the Starbucks, logo. They're very simple. They're only 1 or 2 colors, and they're very easily recognized. So get a simple design. And then the next thing, again, make sure that your logo is easy to recognize. You want people to be able to recognize your logo. And again, it's a great. It's really a very, very effective strategy. So, what have we seen here? Well, we've gotten into, we kind of laid out for you some of the basics in setting up a successful online business. To be successful online, first step is get your environment set up with your domain name that will work for you, that will be effective, and then attach it to a logo that is simple, that is clean, and with as few colors as possible. I would say no more than 3. We saw some exceptions, like the Microsoft logo and the NBC logo, but in general, 2 or 3 colors at the most. Keep it really simple because you want people to identify it. And if people can identify your logo and if they can remember your domain, they will be back. And that's what you want. You want repeat visitors. You want people to recognize who you are, recognize your domain name, see your logo, go, oh, I know who that is. It's a great website. So again, these are a couple of basic principles in setting up a successful online business. Now, if you got value out of this, please leave a comment. I love reading your comments and I respond to all of them. Also, if you would, give me a thumbs up. Woohoo! Give me a thumbs up. A like. I really appreciate it. And then go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And when you subscribe, you'll be notified of more videos that will come out so you can catch my next video. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video, and you have a tremendous day. Thanks again.